Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Jeremy Chuggs. Mitchell Renz out on his honeymoon, but I decided, hey, the grind doesn't stop. So I'm going to bring you a video because I think the Raiders might be prepping to make a big move in free agency before training camp based on something that they did yesterday. I'll break that down on today's program, but before we get going, can we get 500 likes on today's video to show my bosses I've got this channel covered? I know Mitchell Renz is our guy. Mitchell Renz, one of my very, closest best friends here at Chat Sports. He's out on his honeymoon, but I want him to know, he's in good hands. Chuggs has got the channel covered. So let me convey that to him and my bosses. Go down, hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video. I know Raider Nation gets down. I know we can get to 500 likes on today's show. So help me out. Go down and hit that thumbs up icon. And if you're wondering what move happened yesterday, well, the Raiders went ahead and waived Carter Bradley, essentially the fourth quarterback on this roster. Mitch has been mentioning a lot. Is it going to be Carter Bradley, or is it going to be, somebody that the Raiders drafted in Miller as the third quarterback? It looks like we have our answer. I don't even know if the Raiders now keep three quarterbacks on this roster, but this is now opening up a roster spot for a potential, free agent signing, maybe a trade. So that's why I decided to make today's show, because teams don't usually just waive somebody for no reason, right? And I don't think it had to do with anything, disciplinary or anything along saving money by waiving Carter Bradley. I believe that move was made to make room for somebody else. So on today's show, I'm going to give you 5 players that I could see the Raiders signing in free agency, because currently the Raiders have $32.8 million in cap space. Top half of the league. So they have money to play with. They have money to make things happen. And I'm actually going to go back to a list that Mitch made a couple weeks ago, because I think it still rings true on the top 5 free agent targets the Raiders could be signing now that they waived Carter Bradley. At number 5, it's Quandre Diggs, the former safety from the Seattle Seahawks. Well, Pete Carroll was the head coach there. Obviously, a good rapport with this coaching staff, and I really do believe the Raiders still need help in the secondary. And maybe Diggs isn't the best option out there, but maybe his ties with Pete Carroll has something to be said. Maybe the fact that he knows what Pete Carroll wants in his defense, and looking at this current Raiders depth chart for the safety room, they need some help. Unless you're a huge Isaiah Pola-Mao, believer, which I think he's a good player. But to be your starting free safety does concern me just a little bit. I think he's good, but I really do think you can improve. There's multiple guys in free agency that you could sign to improve this safety room. Even if you want to go with Isaiah Pola-Mao, I think if you sign a guy like Quandre Diggs, it's not a for sure thing that he starts over Pola-Mao, but you at least have a little bit better depth at that position. Now, the safety room really worries me for this Raiders team in 2025. Go down in the comment section and let me know, though, what position worries you the most going into the 2025 season? Is it the safety room? Is it the defensive line? Is it the linebacking room? Let me know down in the comment section. You get hit with the YouTube ad break. All good. Scroll on down and give me your answer. Next up, Mike Hilton, cornerback, formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's somebody who fits a niche category for this Raiders squad, in that he is basically only a nickel cornerback. Somebody who can kind of take that nickel role, which currently is Darnay Holmes, and some of the safeties being worked in there as well. I think Mike Hilton, he can step in, and he's played well at that nickelback role. And, Mitch had Dante Thornton Jr. on the show last week, and he said somebody to watch out for is DeCamerion Richardson in the cornerback room. So I think the outside corners maybe a little bit better than what we think they are, right? Darian Porter, a early round pick out of Iowa State. You have DeCamerion Richardson. You signed Eric Stokes in free agency. So maybe this room's a little bit better than we thought it is. You just need maybe some help at that nickelback role, because Darnay Holmes doesn't give me a ton of confidence. Let's go to number 3 on Mitch's list, Jadeveon Clowney, defensive end. And I know what you're thinking, Jeremy. I think we're pretty good at defensive end. I think it would be more defensive tackle is where we need to look at, and I agree with you. But I have been on the train for about 2 years now that the Raiders need to move Tyree Wilson to defensive tackle. And making a move like signing Jadeveon Clowney allows you to do just that. You sign Clowney, he goes into that defensive end role, you slide Tyree Wilson in, you have Tyree Wilson, Adam Butler, and then you have kind of Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, and you add Jadeveon Clowney as another guy on the outside. I think that would be a great move, not only for this defensive line, but for Tyree Wilson. He was taken in the top 10 for a reason. He has great athletic traits, raw ability. I think he can be a good defensive tackle, not as good defensive end in my opinion. So let's move him inside. Let's sign somebody like Jadeveon Clowney, who also has some experience with Pete Carroll, played with him in Seattle. I think that would be a good move for this Raiders squad. I have 2 more guys to mention on today's show, but before we do, quick word from our friends over at Fanatics. You need Raiders gear. It's hot outside. I know it is steamy. So why not get one of these Raiders Performance shirts? Was $50 now. The silver one's $22. The black one's $29. Great deal. All you got to do, chatsports.com/tsale. That link is going to be in the comment section and description of today's video. All you got to do, go check it out. Do a little window shopping right now. Maybe save it for later, but I'm telling you, this deal will only last while the supplies last. So get it while the getting's good. Like I said, that link in the comment section and description of today's show. Let's go to number 2. Julian Blackmon, safety from the Indianapolis Colts. And it still kind of baffles me that he has not signed yet. 86 tackles last season, 3 interceptions, 4 pass breakups for that Colts defense. And yeah, he's only 26 years old. I don't see why he's not signed yet. Maybe he's asking for a certain amount and teams aren't willing to give him that amount of money. But I think, kind of like I was talking about with Quandre Diggs before, you sign Julian Blackmon, though, I think he immediately becomes your starter at the free safety spot over Isaiah Paul-Amal. I think he instantly steps in and is that guy. Is he looking for a long-term deal, though? He's 26 years old. Maybe he's okay with signing a 1-year prove-it deal to hit the market again at 27. I think that could be a win-win scenario for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I want you to go down in the comment section. Voice your opinion. Who do you want the Raiders to sign? I think they're going to sign somebody. They have a lot of cap space. They just waived Carter Bradley. It makes too much sense for them not to go ahead and sign somebody. Let me know down in the comment section. Maybe it's somebody I've already mentioned. Maybe it's one of these guys, the honorable mentions on today's show. Jordan Whitehead, defensive back. Rasul Douglas, Stephon Gilmore, a pair of cornerbacks. Keenan Allen, I don't know if it makes as much sense, especially with Thornton Jr., Jack Besh looking as good as they have early on for the Raiders. And then Jonathan Bullard, a defensive lineman, not as big of a name. A big name that I will be keeping an eye out on, Jamel Dean. We've mentioned him on the program multiple times as a possible trade candidate with the Bucs. Not sure if he's going to make the roster there. Could he just get cut and the Raiders sign him? I think that's a good possibility as well. Has those ties with Spytek. Makes a lot of sense. Look out. If Jamel Dean gets cut, I think he's a Raider. And that brings me to my number 1 free agent target. Well, Mitch's number 1 free agent target, Justin Simmons. It makes too much sense. Get this dude on the Raiders. I want to see Justin Simmons wearing silver and black this next season. He has been an all-pro. He knows the AFC West. He has that experience. Played with the Broncos for many years. Has multiple ties to this Raiders team. I think it would be a home run signing for Pete Carroll and John Spytek if they went out and got Justin Simmons. Last year, maybe not one of his best years, but still really good. 7 PBUs, 2 interceptions, a QB rating when targeted of 86.9. Not too shabby. And if you look at his numbers over the last 4 seasons, I mean, he just balls out. That's all he does. Balls out. Has not had a season in the NFL with less than 2 interceptions. He is a turnover machine. So Justin Simmons, bring him to Las Vegas. Bring Justin Simmons down. I want to see him wearing that silver and black going into to next season. That's all I have for you on today's show, folks. If you made it to the end of the video, hey, I must be doing something right. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you stay tuned in. No matter rain, shine, whether Mitch is here, whether he's not, we are bringing you Raiders content all year long, 365 days a year, 366 on a leap year. We got you covered. All you got to do, it's 100% free. Go down and hit that subscribe button.